This is 2014AMC10A number 24. In this problem, here's what we are going to construct. We are going to list the natural numbers. Like the first one we're going to list is first 4 numbers and then skip 1. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to skip 5. And in the list, we are going to continue to list the next 5 numbers. Like 5 is skipped. The next 5 numbers is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we are going to skip the next 2. So skip 11, 12. And then continue this pattern. The next block of numbers that we're going to list in here, it will be the next 6, right? So 13 and so on and so forth. Well, because we do know there are 6 numbers here, what will be the last number that will be in this little block? It will be 13 plus 6 minus 1, which is 18, okay? And then we'll skip 3 numbers, which means we're going to skip 19, 20, and 21. I would like to introduce some notation here. This is the first block of natural numbers before skipping any number. So I'm going to call this as my n equals 1, right? And then after I skip a number here, and then this is my second block in the list. So I'm going to call this as n equals 2, and so on and so forth, right? And I would also like to introduce, I would like to keep track of how many numbers in my list for each block and how many numbers that I have skipped before I list the next block. So I'm going to call this as my amount of numbers that's in my list. I'm going to just call it count, okay? The count of the numbers. Here, in my first block, there were 4 numbers. In my next block, there were 5. Here, there were 6, and so on and so forth. So you can see that this is 4, this is 5 numbers in the list. The next block, there were 6 numbers. You certainly see the pattern, right? The next block, there were 7 numbers in the block, and so on and so forth. For the numbers that are skipped, the counts for the how many numbers that are skipped. So I'm going to call this as count, but this count is the one that's been skipped. So skipped. So here it begins with 1. The next one is we are going to skip 2, and then next block we are going to skip 3, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, so this certainly is equal to 1 plus 3. This is 2 plus 3. This is 3 plus 3. This is 4 plus 3. Okay, 4 plus 3. At some point, kth block, okay, kth block. With the pattern, I hope that you see that how many numbers are in this block when n is k in the kth block. It will be, according to the pattern that we have, it will be k plus 3, right? Okay, and similarly, in how many numbers we will skip in this kth block, it will be just k. What is our goal? Our goal is these numbers are in our list. These numbers are skipped. So we want to figure out what number in the list is the 500,000th number in this sequence. In other words, we want to figure out, hey, the 500,000th number is what number here, okay? Let's see how we can actually figure that out. First of all, I would like to, let me first delete that, we don't need that. First of all, let's do a little observation here. Okay, I want to figure out what number actually starts in each block. Like here, when the third block, 13 is the first number in this block, right? What about the kth block? What number is the first number in our list in this block? Okay, so let's do a little observation. So now in the first block, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we skip 5. In the second block, it starts with 6, 6 is actually 1 more than 5, right? Now the next one, this is 13. 13 is just 1 more than the last number being skipped, okay, which is 12. And so kth block, what is the first number in this block? It really depends what the last number is in the last block, the number that we skipped in the last block, right? So that depends. This depends on the last one. So it's just 1 more than that. Like here, 13 is going to be 1 more than 12. So n is 4. The next one, if I know this is 21, the next one starts with 22. So here it will start with 22 and so on and so forth. Now, how do you know this guy? Now 21 is the total count of 4, 5, 6 and 1, 2, 3. So that gives you 21, and you know this is 22. Now, suppose after you fill in the kth block, what would be the first number of the k plus first block? So in other words, suppose this is k plus 1, k plus first block. So what is the first number of this guy? Then you're gonna find the sum of all these numbers and all these numbers, and then add 1, then you know what this is, right? Okay, keep in mind our goal is to figure out the 500,000th number in the list. So suppose that we have the kth block filled completely, and the 500,000th number is in the next block, which is k plus first block. So we want to figure out if we are able to figure out what this number is. Isn't that we just need to do a little subtraction, and then we can figure out the 500,000th number. Now this one, for instance, we have the 4 numbers here. This one is the 5th number in the list. Okay, this one is the 10th number. How do we know? Because 4, 5, there were 9 numbers here. So this is the 10th, right? And then this is going to be the 17th number because total 16 in here. So this is the 17th. And what is this particular? This will be, if you find the total of these counts, this will be the next one in the list. So therefore, we need to find the total of this one so that it is close to 500,000th, but less than 500,000th. So we are going to do some algebra. Let me erase that. So in other words, we want to figure out, so 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus all the way up to this particular number. So I'm going to call it x for now. Okay, so plus up to x is close to 500,000, but certainly should be less than 500,000. So that the 500,000th number is in the next block, right? Okay, I know that the sum of this is about x times x plus 1 divided by 2. I know in order for us to be this, we have to have 1 plus 2 plus 3. But 6 is pretty tiny. I'm going to just say about. This sum is about this guy. And then, so approximately equal to 500,000. This means x times x plus 1 is close to 1 million, right? 1 million. And you can just try, suppose this is 999, then this will be 1,000. And this is certainly less than a million, but it's fairly close. This is equal to 999,000. But if this is 1,000, one more, and this will be certainly more bigger than a million. So therefore, x has to be 999. So with that, I'm going to say this is x right there. This is going to be 999, equal to 999, right? So which implies k is 996. So k is equal to 996. In other words, the 500,000th value in the list is in the 997th block. My next task is to figure out what is the first number in this block. And how do we find out? We just need to find out the sum of this and this, right? So let's do that. So we do know k is 996. Okay, now let's do the algebra. We are gonna add all these numbers up to 999, and then all add these numbers 1 to 996, and this will give us how many numbers in total before this 997th block. So let's do that. So it's going to be 4 plus 5 plus all the way up to 999. And then that's for this list, right? And certainly, in order for us to do it correctly, so I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, subtract 1 and subtract 2, subtract 3, so that we can use the formula, so which is 999 times 1,000 divided by 2, and then minus 6. And this actually gives us 499,500 minus 6, which is 499,494. Okay, so that's the sum of this. We still have to find the sum of this. So let's find that, which is 1 plus 2 plus all the way up to 996. So that's coming from this sum, which is 996 times 997 divided by 2. And this is equal to 496,506. So in other words, the total of these two the counts of the numbers, total numbers in these two columns, they are equal to sum of these two. Okay, 499,494 plus 496,506, and this is going to be 996,000. Perfect. This is a nice number. So with that, we do know what this number is. This number should be 996,001. Okay, so keep in mind, this number is the 499,495th number in the list. Okay. So this number is 499,495th number in the list, and it is 996,001. Somewhere here in the list, in this block, there's it will be your 500,000th number, right? Okay, so now let's find the difference between these two. 505, right? You know, when you subtract this, you have to add 1. You have to add 1 to get the correct count. So in other words, there should be a total of 506 numbers. And you do know the first one is 996,001. That's the first one. What's the 506th number in this list? Isn't that 996 and 506? So that's the answer there.